Jean, also known as the Results Queen, and welcome to Get More Results TV. I'm here today to help you get more results in both business and in life. As we talked about last week, I'm going to teach you my results formula. And as we talked about last week, results is an acronym. It stands for Ready, End, Steps, U, Levels of Learning, Transformation, and Success. Now, over the last 2 seasons, we've talked about the fact that I've had lots of guests teach you how to get more results in both business and in life. However, with that said, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to give you my tips and tricks to help you get more results. And today we're going to talk about the R in the results formula, which stands for Ready. Now, if you haven't heard about the other areas of the results formula, go back and watch the previous episodes. It will certainly help you. It's only a half an hour, and a half an hour can change your life, in my opinion. So let's talk about Ready. What I find so interesting is that so many of us think we're ready to get results, and the reality is we're not ready. And I know that seems kind of odd to say because you have to think to yourself, I'm always ready. But the reality is that you're not always ready. Sometimes you may have come from doing a lot of things that you think, I need some rest, that you may need to recover. And we're going to talk about recovery later on in the series. Your head may not be in the right space because you have some family challenges or some kid challenges or some personal challenges or some other family challenges. So then you're not ready. You might have stress in your life, or you might have some medical issues that you're dealing with. The fact is that if you want to achieve a result, you have to be ready to achieve the result. That means you have to have the right mindset. And it means that you have to know what result that you want to achieve. So now we've talked a lot about caveman brain in the past, and I'm going to talk a little bit about caveman brain before. And for those of you who do not know anything about caveman brain, it's something that I developed that I believe that, we all have caveman brain. It's actually, there's a scientific term that I can't tell you the word of, but you can look it up right here. And basically we think about fight, flight, or freeze. I termed it the caveman brain. Lots of people call it other things, but to me, when we were in caveman times, this is the only thing that was formed, and this is what drives us. And it still drives us today. It's our survival instinct. Because at the end of the day, we're still pack animals. We all live in packs. And to be together as a group meant that we were going to survive in caveman days. It doesn't mean that's true today. However, our caveman brain is still with us today. So if we can harness the caveman brain to help us as opposed to hurting us, we are going to achieve more results, which is great. Because as I've talked about before, unfortunately, like 95% of us never achieve the goals that we set out. So I want you to give up goals and start thinking about results. And listen to my voice. Did you hear that when I say results? Doesn't it sound great? When I say goals, it doesn't sound so good. And I want to tell you this. Things that where your voice goes up at the end of the word, your brain reacts more positively to than the things where voices go down, like goals. So you want to try it? Let's try it together. Say results and say goals. Even if I try to say goals, it doesn't come out real happy, doesn't it? So who wants to achieve goals? Well, I mean, a gold medal might be nice, but that's gold. That's not goals. The fact is, if you want to achieve results, that sounds a lot better. So that's one of the things I actually teach my clients is I talk about the different words they use because words are really important and words can help you get ready. So if you're using the word goal, like I want to go achieve this goal, I'm going to tell you right now, give that up and start putting the word result in instead. And you might say to me, well, Jean, how the heck am I going to do that? Well, here's what you do. You say like, hey, I've got this goal. Go breathe in and then say, I've got this result. And I don't know what it is, but for some reason, our brains react better to results than it does to goals. And I'm not, as again, I said, I'm not really sure why, but it just does. The brain is really one of the most unstudied organs that we have in our body. Neuroscientists are learning more and more every day about how our brains work and what our brains can do to help us. And I think if we harness the power of our brains, we can move ourselves to get bigger, better, more long-lasting results and not goals. So give up those goals and let's go get some results. All right, so with that said, let's talk about ready. So if you put 10 people in a room and you divide them into 6 people, 2 people, and 2 people. So the 6 people are sitting here. I call those the middle people. The 6 people are happy with what they're doing. They're happy where they are. They're not interested in changing. And they're just going to keep doing the same old thing because that's all they know or that's all they want to do. So those are the mediocre people. I'm sorry. Maybe you're a mediocre person. It's not, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean about it, but the fact is you might say my life is great right now. And that's okay. But the challenge with that is that you're going to go one way or the other. Eventually, life is going to force you from the middle to either slide down or slide up. And when you're ready, you have to choose which way you're going to slide. So the 6 people, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, they're not going to pay attention. And you may be one of those people in the middle, and you've already turned this show off, and you're not interested in learning more. Just going to say to you, remember, there's going to be a point in your life where you're going to slide down or you're going to slide up, and that's your choice. So if you're sitting here right now going, oh my gosh, Jean, you're right, I'm in the middle, then I'm going to suggest that you make a choice. Now, so many people say, I can't make any choices. It's just the way life is. And I'm going to say, oh no, girlfriend, boyfriend, not truth. The fact is that you control your life and you can help yourself. It all starts with this and what you believe. And we talked last time about upper level limited thinking. What you think you are is what you are. So if you want to be something different, start thinking something different. And the way you can do that is if you just tell yourself for 30 days, twice a day, 30 days, you'll change that mindset. You'll change this little voice in your head. And I know people say I'm insane when I talk about the little voice in your head, but I call it your roommate. And your roommate is not always nice to you and doesn't always say nice things to you. So the fact is that you want to get rid of negative Nancy and you want to place it with positive Polly or Paula or Paul, whatever it might be. But something that's positive in your life. So all that negative thoughts. And last week I asked you to go on this negative diet, get negativity out of your life. And hopefully you've done that and you probably feel better about yourself because there aren't all the negative things in. We think about the nutritional stuff we put into our bodies. We feed our bodies. Well, it's the same thing with your brain. You feed your brain. And if you're feeding your brain negative stuff, guess what you're going to be? Negative. And if you feed your brain positive stuff, guess what you're going to be? Positive. I know you're thinking to yourself, it doesn't work. But I'm going to tell you, try it for a week and see what happens and let me know. And you can reach me at B2B TV and just leave me a message. And also, if you want your own television show, because you think, oh, I want to do what Jean's doing, call me because we can help you get on B2B TV. We're always looking for hosts, always looking for sponsors, always looking for people who want to be involved. So just send me a note at b2btv.tv and we'll be happy to help you in any way, shape, or form. So that means, however, you have to be ready. So I remember go back to my 6 people, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, they're not moving from here. Okay, let's go to the 2 people that are on this side. Those 2 people are on the slippery slope. And if they don't do something tomorrow, they're probably out of business, meaning that they've waited too long when they were sitting here in the middle to do something to help themselves. They're miserable in their job. They're about to lose their company. They're about to lose their job. They don't know what to do with their life. So they're the miserable people. They're the Nancy negatives and Nathan negative people of the world. And if they don't change, they're out of business tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean they're dying or anything. It just means that they're out of business tomorrow. That means that life is not treating them well. They're not happy with their life. They don't know what to do differently. And it's just the same old grind. Now, can you get out of it? Yes, you can. It takes a long time, though, to turn that around. Just think about how if you have a boulder and you try to push the boulder, how long does it take you to rock it until it starts moving? Once you start moving, it's great. But that's how it is if you're standing down here. Because these 2 people are going to be out of business tomorrow. So let's talk about the 2 people who are up here. These are people I call ready. The ready people are people who are like, I'm on a positive kick. I know that there's more things that I can do with life. I want it more. I want to get bigger, better, faster, stronger. My life is not over yet. I can do so many more things. Those are the ready people. And notice I said there's only 2. So if you're in new business development, for example, and you go to talk to 10 people, know that of the 10 people, you're most likely to close 2 pieces of business. If you think about 80% of the business comes from 20% of the people, there's a reason why we say that. If you're a leader and you're leading a team, there's probably 2 people who are right with you 6 people who are in the middle, and 2 people that you think, oh my gosh, I really want to change them. And I want you to look at this rule and see if it's really truth or not, because you're going to find that you're going to have 2 people who are always ready, 6 people who are sitting in the middle, and 2 people who are on the slippery slope that if they don't change it, things are going to get a lot worse. Now, have I been in those areas? I have. And the fact is that when I find myself sitting in the mediocre people, because I've been in the mediocre people, I think to myself, I get to go right or I get to go left. I want to go right because I want to be in the ready people. So what's great about the results formula is that it's a repeatable process. So when you get to the end and you get to the success celebration, and we'll talk about that later in the series, the fact is that you can recover and you can get ready and you can start again. And I'm going to teach you all of that later on. But right now I'm just teaching about ready. And ready is really a mindset. It's about, am I really ready to do this? Am I ready to go on this journey? One of the things that I do at the beginning of each year is I pick some area that is really difficult for me, and I learn about that area for the whole year so that it's become less difficult for me. And sometimes you want to use the word challenging as opposed to difficult, because as I say to you, words matter. Well, what's interesting is that I learned one year how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because if you're uncomfortable, you're growing. And yet so many of us want to be comfortable. The fact is, being uncomfortable is a great thing. And the more uncomfortable you are, the more growing you are. The more growing you are, the more ready you're over here with the ready people as opposed to the here on the slippery slope people. So it's okay. I spent a year learning how to be vulnerable. And one of the things I learned about being vulnerable is it actually makes you more powerful. And yet you think to yourself, your little roommate here is going, no, it can't be. And that's because caveman brain often prevents us from getting the results that we want. Caveman brain is probably one of the most hardest things to get over because we have been listening to it for so long. What I'm going to suggest is that you write down all the thoughts that your caveman brain is telling you about the reasons why you're not ready. Get them out of your head. When you write stuff down, it becomes real. If you say it out loud, it becomes real. If you need someone, sometimes we can't do it ourselves, and that's okay. I talked about having a community. Having a community of people is really important because that's the way you become more successful is through a community of people. So get yourself a coach, get yourself an accountability partner, join a mastermind group or form a mastermind group because that means that you're ready, and you want to surround yourself with people who are ready with you, people who want to learn, people who want to grow, people who want to push you, and you're willing to be pushed. And that's how I know when my clients show up at my doorstep, I know they're ready because they've sought me out. You might be ready because you're watching me talk about being ready. You might be ready because you read this book. The fact is that if you're not ready, it will never happen for you. So what happens if you're sitting in the ready place and you're ready to go? And what I would say to you is that write down what you want and start working on it. I like working in 90-day plans. I talked about that last time. And the fact is that every 90 days, winter, spring, summer, fall, I sit down and write what opportunities have and what threats could prevent me from getting those opportunities. And then I write down action steps. And those action steps are going to take me forward. And steps are part of the results formula. And we'll talk about how you develop those steps in the next couple of shows. So, but right now we're just talking about ready. What if you're sitting in the mediocre place? Do you even know you're mediocre? Well, one of the things that you can think about in terms of being in the middle is, what are you doing with your life? Have you tried anything new lately? Are you really comfortable? Do you not want to change? If those are the things that you're thinking about, then you're probably in the middle. And what I'm going to say is that there's a book called Change or Die. You're either changing or you're dying. And so many people are afraid of change. Oh, please, people, get over yourselves. As my mother would say, build a bridge and get over it. The fact is that change happens all the time. And for those of us who say, I don't like change, well, guess what? Were you a baby and you changed? You were a toddler and you changed. You were a teenager, you changed. You're an adult and you changed. You moved from one place. You put on different clothes. You have a cell phone. I mean, there weren't cell phones 50 years ago. There wasn't even electricity 100 years ago. Those are things that we like to change. So the fact is that change is not bad. Change actually can be really good. The challenge for us when we have change is that it's just different. And we don't necessarily know what to do when we have change. So one of the things that I have learned from my coaches is, I used to say, I'm overwhelmed. And I would say, and when my coach would sit down and talk to me, she'd say, how's this week going? I'd say, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. She finally said to me, Jean, stop saying you're overwhelmed. And I said, why? Because I am. She goes, you're not overwhelmed. When you have that feeling of being overwhelmed, I want you to say, I've moved to the next level of success. And the fact is that when we move to the next level of success, it's a new space for us. We don't know what we're doing. We've never been there before. And that's why it feels overwhelmed, because we're trying to learn how to live in that new area, in that new place that we've created. So now that I know when I have those overwhelmed feelings, I sit down and I check myself. Am I overloaded in that I'm doing too many tasks? Or have I really moved to a new place because of all the growth and learning that I'm doing, and that I've just up-leveled myself and I have to learn how to live in that area? Try it. See what you think about that. Because once you realize that being overwhelmed is a really good thing, it changes the way you look at how being ready to get results. So what if you're down here at the bottom of the pool? You've missed your opportunity and you're on that slippery slope. Here's what I'm going to say to you. You can always change. I know we just talked about changing. But the fact is that you can. You just have to recognize that you're on the slippery slope and you have to ask for help. One of the things that is so difficult for people is that they don't ask for help all the time. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't used to ask for help either. But now I do, because I realize that people really want to help you. They like you. And if they didn't like you, they wouldn't want to help you. The fact is that most of us don't ask for help because we think that we have to show that we're doing it all ourselves. Well, that's not true. All the famous people that you see have a team around them, a team of people that help them get there. When you think about Allison Janney, who won an Oscar, she said, I did it all by myself. And then she went, no, I didn't. She started to thank all the people that had helped her get that Oscar. So the fact is that if you want an Oscar, metaphorically speaking, know that there are lots of people who have to help you. That might be the people you hang out with. It might be your family. It might be a coach or an accountability partner or a mastermind group, which I've said before. And now you might say to me, Jean, what if I'm in a place where I don't have any help? Well, then I'm going to say to you, find someone who wants to help you. Because there is someone there. You just haven't looked for them. And you may not have asked for them. So one of the things that I truly believe in is I believe in the universe and I believe in energy. And I believe what you put out is what you're going to get back. Now, again, you might say to me, Jean, that's namby-pamby, but the fact is we're all made up of energy. And my son has a shirt that says, you matter. Unless you're traveling at the speed of light square, then you energy. So the fact is that we're on this beautiful planet rotating around with all energy. And what you put out is what you're going to get back. So if you put out negative thoughts, you're going to get back negative thoughts. If you're looking for someone to help you, put it out in the universe and guess what? And watch it come back to you. So my first accountability partner, it took me 2 years to find her. And I kept thinking to myself, I need an accountability partner. I need an accountability partner. I need an accountability partner. And I have a place I went to. I would try and find one. And finally, I found the person I wanted. Once I got really clear of what I needed and I was ready to have one. So now you're saying to me, Jean, okay, these two people down here, they weren't ready. They slid in the pool. Or these people here, they're not ready. They're mediocre. I want to be up here. Okay. So think about what it is that you want to achieve. What's your result? And you can have many different results. You might have a business result. You might have a personal result. You might have a life result. You might have a long-term result. You might have a short-term result. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as you write it down and know that that's what you truly want to do, and then you commit to it. You commit to it and you start working towards it, meaning that every single day when you get up, you think about the result that you want to achieve and what are you willing to do today to get there. Now, sometimes it might take you a while to think about what results you want, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to work about it tomorrow. You can watch this video again and again and again until you finally think about what result I want. And that's a lot of just journaling sometimes, just writing it down, writing it down, writing it down, writing it down, writing it down. But then what do you say to me, Jean? What if I don't believe in the result? Well, if you don't believe in the result, but you don't believe you can achieve that result, then you're not going to. Pick a different one. And you can pick something easy like I achieved it in a day. or I achieved it in an hour. The fact is, like, here I am. I thought it'd be great to have a television show, and here I am, and you're watching me. Isn't that awesome? And I never thought that could happen until I changed my mind and said, you know what, I'm going to make it happen. And here I am on B2B TV. And the fact is that you can too if you want a television show, or if you want to be a best-selling author, or you want to make a lot more money, or you want to have a great family. There's nothing that's holding you back other than you. And that's your caveman brain speaking. And as we've said before, caveman brain only knows what it hears and what it sees. So if you're telling it that you can't get that, then guess what's going to happen? Your caveman brain is going to give that to you. Caveman brain does not want you to die. That's the whole idea, fight, flight, or freeze. And so the whole mental game is really what most successful people spend the most time on. It's not a skill set. Most of us are always thinking, I gotta get better at my skills. I gotta get better at my skills. I gotta get better at my skills. You gotta get better at your mind. And most of us don't focus on what we're saying, what we're thinking, what we're feeling. We just go, 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 do, get up in the morning, same old routine. I don't know why I'm angry. I don't know why I'm upset. Well, it's what are you telling yourself? Who are you hanging out with? Because if you're not hanging out with positive people, then you're not going to have a very positive life. And you might say to me, Jean, my family's not very positive. I get that. Well, then you know what? You can limit the amount of time you spend with your family. Or if they said something negative, you can say in your brain, thank you so much. I'm going to believe something different. I'm going to believe X. The fact is that just because people tell it to you doesn't mean that you have to own it. That's their perception, not your perception. And your perception is the most important thing in terms of getting a result and being ready to do it. So know that whatever you want, you can get. Now people say to me, Jean, I want to win the lottery. Okay, but most of us don't believe we can win it. So that's why we don't, believe it or not. I know that seems kind of like silly, but the fact is that most of our thoughts are in our subconscious, and we operate from our subconscious as opposed to conscious. If you can pull that conscious thought into the subconscious thought into the conscious thought, then you can work on it. But most of us don't believe that we'll ever get the lottery, so that's why we don't win. I actually gave up playing the lottery because I figured to myself, you know what? I can make my own money, and so can you. And there's actually research that shows that people who win the lottery actually lose all their money. So why don't you just make your own money and do what you want to do and be happy? The fact is that we all have a role to play, and it's okay for us to play it. So if you're thinking about being ready, the fact is that you have to know what you want to achieve, know that you can achieve it, put the right people in place to help you achieve it, and then work in a time frame that makes sense for you to continue to get those results. Meaning that don't work more than 90 days. And you want to write your 90-day results of what you want to achieve. If you follow those steps, you'll be ready to be able to move forward. So now we've talked about being on a negative diet, we've talked about caveman brain, and we've talked about ready. When you're ready, then you want to go and be with me next week to hear us talk about end. Because end is the next place and probably the most important step in the results formula. So I hope all of you are ready, because I'm ready to achieve more results. Thanks so much for watching today. I'm Jean, the Results Queen, and this is Get More Results Television.